Hello everyone, welcome back. If at any point in time you like this video, give the thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. We're talking about Paper Girls today. This is an image book by Brian K. Vaughn. And it's not the image book that we know and love from Brian K. Vaughn, which is Saga. This is a completely different thing. This is Paper Girls. So it was sold to me as a Goonies 1980s coming of age story with girls that gets wacky, and that all happened. Great quality book. These image hardcover books are fantastic. They're not so heavy that you can't like lay down and read these books. They're not like big omnibus or absolutes. Solid construction. The spines of these books and the eye is very solid. It's sewn binding. It's not that glued binding. They're beautiful books. The shininess, the pink. The books are absolutely beautiful. This is an art style that is kind of that digital art style similar to Saga, and I keep comparing this to Saga because it's they're in that same vein. Digital art style, so if you don't like that, if you like your hand-drawn comics or your painted comics, you might not like this art style. It's pretty good. I think it's okay. It doesn't really distract from the story. We start the story off as, like I said, a coming-of-age story. 4 girls meet, they're running a paper route, and things start happening. They're coming to terms with their puberty. They're coming to terms with being a teenager, an adolescent in a town. They're having issues with boys. They're having issues with other kids, and they're just trying to do their jobs. Well, things start happening. Shenanigans ensue. And we meet some extraterrestrial or some beings from another time in another place. This is a heavy time travel story. So if you don't like time travel, you are going to hate this story. And I'm not the biggest time travel guy. I mean, I love Back to the Future, but whenever you start time traveling and even like multiverse stuff in other comics, it's just a little much for me. Maybe I'm not smart enough to grasp that, but it's just when you do that, you convolute the story to the point where you're taking away a lot from the characters, in my opinion. There is some extremely lazy writing in this book, and Brian K. Vaughan is very famous. There are panels and pages of this story that are in another language. These other people and other beings that they meet in their time travels, all the way back to like caveman times to like futuristic things, they have different languages, and there are word bubbles in these pages that cannot be deciphered. There is actually a codex in the very last book 3, which I don't think is in any of the other books. I'll have to double check that, but I don't think it's there, that you wouldn't be able to decipher it. And who is going to go back and decipher this? Because that would be something like, if you were a kid and you were reading this story, you go back and you decipher the word bubbles and you try to figure it out. But I mean, it would take like days to figure that out. Also, who is this book written for? I'm going to get to that here. Just like, it's got cussing, it's got adult themes. Obviously there's children as the main characters who act very adult, but I don't quite understand who this story is written for. This book has a pretty blatant agenda. I would classify this book as woke. Sorry if that triggers you, but it is. This book is wearing its agenda on its sleeve. I compare this book to Saga. Again, Saga also had an agenda. It is, a story, a forbidden love story, social issues, political issues, but the story is so well written and the characters are so memorable. I mean, I can remember, I mean, it's literally been months since I've read Saga again. And I mean, I remember Marcus, I remember Hazel, I remember these characters. I just finished the story and I cannot remember the four girls' names, if that says anything about this. There are panels in this that just blew my mind, how like over the top it was and how it wasn't even part of the story. It was just absolutely forced. Big part of this is women's rights. There's anti-Christianity pages. There's one panel specifically, I think it was like the last page of one of the issues, where it says, don't believe the Bible. It was a book written by a bunch of men who didn't know what they were talking about either. Which, I mean, you can have your own opinion about that, but I mean, it was like out of nowhere. It was like, it totally caught me off guard. And also there was a Halloween scene where they snap back into another time period, and there's just like a kid there with a giant Donald Trump mask, and then he takes the Donald Trump mask off, and he's just like the stereotypical evil, like little kid with like slick back hair, like, you know, just looking like a tool. And it was like, what is going on in this book? There are no male characters in this book that are positive. None. I kept reading this book like it's a quick read. Brian K. Vaughan is very good at keeping you engaged. Like the story moves fairly quickly. You know, pages start turning quickly. You know, there's not a lot of text as far as, you know, dialogue. I mean, some pages had some heavier dialogue, but most pages, you know, it was big, you know, fight scenes or exploration scenes, no dialogue scenes. And then there were pages where you can't decipher, like what I was saying, like you can't actually read the dialogue, which that's just lazy to me. It did keep me turning. The ending is completely predictable. You could probably, within the first couple issues, you're going to probably figure out what's going to happen at the end of this book. Would I recommend this? No, I would not recommend this at all. I mean, they're nice books. They're well made. The pages are beautiful, and that's kind of where it stops for me. I mean, I will forget that I have read this within a month, and it's funny because after I read this, I'm reading Frank Miller's Sin City, and just the difference in the quality of just not only the art but the writing, just the story, the characters, the character development, the plot, everything. Just how visceral it feels, and the stakes are real. This is just, I don't know. It's throwaway material for me. Guys, what's your opinion? I'm not usually that negative on things, but I have opinions about this. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If at any point in time you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Take care.